So, I mean, it's hard to really think about retirement at such a young age, right? But if you look at the economic circumstances of right now, especially with this pandemic and uncertainty in the future, you want to actually, look at ways to secure yourself for, in the event you happen to lose a job or. Hello everyone, this is Ronan Blue, just taking my daily walk here today. And today's topic would be on how to save and invest with minimum wage. So this is actually a topic that I really wish that somebody could have told me as I was growing up there. Especially when I got my first job and I had a minimum wage job. I mean, that's where the majority of us start, right? I worked at a fast food joint for about 6 months, and then I worked at the airport. It's a good spot to start from because you gain the importance of earning that dollar. For some, minimum wage isn't all that pleasant, and the reason being is because, well, you don't get paid so much. And when I was working at that fast food joint, it's kind of sad because I was working an entire hour, and one burger was worth my whole wage for that hour. So when you think of it that way, minimum wage is a really tough place to really think about saving and investing. But the thing is, it is very much possible to do so, because when you do start your first job, you're most likely living with your parents, and therefore, they're paying for all of your accommodation and your food, most likely too. So you do have some extra money. And what you want to essentially do, or what I essentially should have done in my younger days, was to probably save it and invest it. And the reason being is because the advice I can tell you today is about the power of compound interest. So the earlier you start with knowing exactly what compound interest is, the more you could potentially grow your net worth at an extremely younger age. So there's a lot of information out right now over the internet available for anybody to search on, but we didn't have that back in the day. Well, the baby boomers as well as the millennials. But the point of the matter is, when the internet came out, all of this information started to really flood our society to the point where we were exposed to all these different types of alternative lifestyles. And the alternative lifestyle that I'm speaking of would be the one called financial independence, retire early. So one major point that is recommended would be in making a budget. So I know a lot of people don't like the B word, but you really have to start somewhere. And where you have an advantage over the previous two generations is that there's a number of different apps you can do to download, so you can keep track of all of your expenses. So there's ones I do recommend in other vlogs that I speak of, but you can also go old school if you want to and use a simple paper and pen method. I speak of one method that's very old school. It's probably about 100 years old, called Kakebo. I have a vlog on that as well. But the point of the matter is you want to be able to track everything. And the advantage you have is just by plugging in everything and anything that you do purchase. So you just keep in mind that every opportunity you have in buying something is an opportunity to save something as well. So basically you'll have the opportunity maybe to cut back on some fast food that you eat, or maybe to cut back on watching some movies here and there, or maybe some subscriptions that you're paying for as well. Those actually really add up. And other than watching a movie every twice a month, make it once a month. You know, you're not completely depriving yourself. But if you look at your own lifestyle and then find ways to tweak it, I'm sure there's many ways for you to save money. But what you definitely want to do is you want to reduce your expenses. So if you look at the major categories that involve your lifestyle today, the major would be housing, like I mentioned earlier. A lot of people, you know, they start off by living with their parents. So, but then if you want to move out, that's an option as well, finding some cheap alternatives out there. Obviously, you'll need to get a roommate as well, so you can share the costs. Maybe even for Wi-Fi, you may want to get in contact with your neighbor, as an example, and share the Wi-Fi as well. So you can share the costs for that. So, and also it comes to maybe bulking up on the foods that you eat as well, freezing stuff in the refrigerator. There's a number of vlogs that I've actually made as well, where you can freeze up your food. So you can spend one day of the weekend dedicated to make cheap meals for the entire week. But you may want to, you know, stop from getting a vehicle as well, right? A lot of the young people actually don't really care too much to get a vehicle compared to the previous two generations anyways, because there's a lot of alternative modes of transportation out there as well. So first off, there's Uber, or you can travel also by, you know, the old school methods of the bus or the train. And there's also carpooling as well. And there's also bicycles, those scooters that you find lying around everywhere. So because of all the apps out there available, you have so much ways to save money, because technology actually is deflationary, and it actually reduces the costs of living actually. So, but then also has the side effect of people losing their jobs as well. But if you yourself as an individual, if you can take advantage of those types of apps, lots of them, for free, to find ways to reduce your overall lifestyle costs. And another way for you to save and invest with minimum wage would be to look for ways to increase your income. So even if you do have minimum wage, like I said, you have, you know, the millennials and also Generation Z actually have available in front of them something, like I said, the two previous generations did not. And I'm jealous of your generation actually. But I mean, I take advantage of them now, but I just didn't grow up with them. And I would take full, you know, advantage of what you have. And the millennials and Generation Z have this impression that money kind of grows on trees. And it kind of does when you look at the apps available for you, because you can go ahead and find all of these side hustles out there, like becoming an Uber driver as an example. There's this guy who actually drove for 12 hours a day for 30 days straight, which is insane, but he made something like $8,000 in that 1 month. So if you're really disciplined, it's very much possible for you to do so. So I mean, Uber is just one example, but you have available as well for babysitting and dog walking, and they have seasonal jobs as well, like cutting lawns or shoveling walks. You know, and there's a whole bunch of other options out there for you available. So when they say money grows on trees, maybe it might be kind of true. And but the point of the matter is, you can still increase your income even if you have minimum wage. But yeah, I have plenty of vlogs talking about it, but there's some other options you have available as well. Like you can deliver groceries as well, and you can also rent out maybe a section of your home for really cheap as well. So it's really up to you. There might be some rules involved around doing so, but if you're attentive and see anything that would be advantageous in your situation, then you should take full advantage of making an extra income. So it's just, it's very much possible, especially here in North America. There's so many options that are available if you put the right mindset and also a little bit of discipline as well, and that determination to achieve your goals. But another excellent option you have available would be to automate your savings as well. For example, if your workplace has direct deposit, like most places do, then you can ask even your employer to split up the money, right? One could go to a savings account and the other could go to your checkings account. You can ask for it to be split up, or you can even set that up within your own checkings account as well, and having to take a small percentage. Everyone starts small, right? You want to keep your goal settings as well. So that's another point to bring up as well, goal setting. So let's say 1 month you say you're going to save $50, right, to start off with, and so you direct it to your savings account, and then the next month you raise it up a bit to $75, and you keep raising it, and it actually becomes somewhat of a game after you get used to all of the savings, and you'll see that it accumulates more and more every month. So especially if you jump from one job to the next, just because you jump from one job to the next, you'll obviously be getting a higher income from that new position of yours. But if you also have that mindset of just keeping the lifestyle as you did with a lower income, that would be excellent as well. So for those people who get promotions or tax rebates, as an example, tax refunds, at the end of the year, all of that extra surplus should be used towards saving and investing. And if you take a look at how compound interest works and how that interest accumulates exponentially month over month, you're looking at possibly retiring early, or you're going to have lots of different options for you in the future if you do wisely choose the investment vehicles for your future. So it's hard to really think about retirement at such a young age, right? But if you look at the economic circumstances of right now, especially with this pandemic and uncertainty in the future, you want to actually look at ways to secure yourself for in the event you happen to lose a job, but you definitely want to open up a high yielding savings account as well. Some of the banks still offer that. I mentioned some because, the US Federal Reserve has cut the interest rates near zero. So a lot of the banks still have high yielding savings account, however. But even if you accumulate all of those funds within the savings account, you won't be getting so much of a return compared to the stock market. So you can take advantage and do your own research, your due diligence on investment assets such as ETFs or mutual funds or index funds, or maybe even individually selecting stocks for yourself as well. So some of you might be old enough to get a brokerage account, but there are apps like I mentioned throughout this whole entire vlog for you to take advantage of, and I'm jealous of you in having access to, but there are a number of investment apps as well. Maybe you might have a little bit of cash, physical cash as well, and whenever you do make those purchases, maybe you might have a credit card, maybe not, but then if you do have cash, then you should keep that change and save it like old school into a piggy bank and watch it grow as well. So, and then you can roll it up yourself and go to a bank and invest it into a high yielding savings account if you wanted to. But once you set all of this up, I mean, it doesn't really take that long to do so. I mean, setting up a budget, for example, on a spreadsheet only takes about an hour of your time. And you want to track about initially 3 months. Don't start it until you have at least about 3 months of data. So you just basically go onto your online banking history and take account of all of the expenses and also the incoming money that you have, and open up those separate accounts like this high yielding savings account, and maybe taking a look at those apps that do have investment options, and to just do a little bit of due diligence and get your feet a little bit wet when it comes to investing. Because the thing is, like, right now there's a record number of people creating investment accounts for good reason, because everyone's actually hunting for yield. So dividend yield, the money that you accumulate just by holding a few companies in your portfolio. So it's kind of like money working for you, right? Well, it's exactly that, money working for you. And you're essentially paying yourself first. And you can't really think of any other place to invest. Like, if you had minimum wage, I would totally take advantage of having to put as much money into an investment account, because I mean, there are other options such as real estate, but real estate is a little too expensive for a lot of people. And there's actually investment vehicles where you can invest into without even buying physical property, such as REITs, real estate investment trusts. For those, you just simply buy in, and they give you a little bit of a commission at the end of the month for them holding the property for you. So they get money. There's a whole bunch of, I have a separate vlog on REITs as well. But I think I end my vlog here today. Tell me what you think of all of the points I mentioned in the vlog about saving and investing. But if you like this vlog, please don't forget to give me a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell for more of my coming content here. Thank you for watching my vlog. Be free, gain wealth, and travel far.